You get a massive idea. You map out a brilliant plan. The adrenaline hits, and the very first thing you do is text your friends, tell your family, or post about it online. And almost immediately, you realize that the intense drive you felt just fizzes out into thin air. When you externalize your plans, your brain rewards you with a premature hit of dopamine. You get the applause and validation for a job well done before you've actually lifted a single finger. By satisfying the urge for recognition early, you've effectively neutralized the internal tension that was supposed to drive the work. Think of your ambition like a high-rise. If you walk past a construction site in its early days, all you see is a chaotic mess of dirt, exposed wire, and noise. Nobody stops to admire it, but everyone stops to stare at a beautifully finished structure. Your unfinished ideas are exactly like that chaotic construction site. When you invite people in too early, they don't see the grand vision. They see the mess, and they judge it based on its current incomplete state. Bringing that external skepticism into a fragile project kills your momentum before the foundation is even poured. The antidote is the silent game. You cut off the broadcast. You stop seeking cheap validation. By restricting all external output, you are aggressively hoarding every drop of internal energy for the labor itself. Silence is not just a secret, it's a structural mechanism. It is designed to lock your ambition in a closed system, ensuring that the internal pressure builds up entirely behind your actions, rather than leaking out through your words. This closed system is particularly effective at processing raw emotional energy, specifically the intense friction generated by setbacks, rejections, or heartbreak. Most people vent when they're hurt. They complain, they seek sympathy, and they bleed that intense energy out until it's gone. But if you seal the system and remain silent, that energy has nowhere to go. It is forced to circulate within your work, acting as high-octane fuel for your productivity. We have to apply this same mechanical discipline to your time. Picture your day as a pressurized pipeline designed to carry a perfect 24-hour volume of liquid directly into your central reservoir of execution. But for most of us, this pipeline is covered in holes. Focus sprays out into useless conversations, and hours bleed out through invisible distractions. By the time you actually sit down to work, the pressure is already gone. The fundamental reality of this system is that the volume never changes. No amount of wealth or status grants you a larger pipeline. Every human being operates within the exact same mathematical boundary. Elon Musk builds his entire technological infrastructure within those exact same 86,400 seconds. Warren Buffett manages global capital constrained by the identical daily tick of the clock. National leaders like Narendra Modi manage populations of over 1 billion people under these same temporal limits. The highest tiers of global influence, commanded by figures like Vladimir Putin, cannot manufacture a 25th hour. The difference isn't the size of the pipe, it's the lack of holes. By rigorously tracking every minute, you seal those fractures. You ensure that 100% of your trapped emotional energy and focused time is forced directly into execution. So what happens inside the engine once it's sealed? While your external world is silent, your internal environment needs to become aggressively targeted. To do this, you exploit a physiological shortcut. The human brain cannot reliably distinguish between a vividly imagined scenario and physical reality. Think about your favorite food right now. If you imagine the texture and the taste vividly enough, your mouth will physically start to salivate. The food isn't there, but your body is already preparing to digest it. You use the same protocol for your goals. For 5 minutes every morning and night, you visualize the end state. You imagine exactly what it feels like to achieve the result. By doing this, you are tricking the brain into believing the success has already begun. This creates a biological drive. Because your brain thinks the success is real, it manufactures the hunger and focus required to sustain the isolation of the silent work until the physical world catches up. When your internal programming is this consistent and your external leaks are sealed, you reach a tipping point, often called the tathastu effect. In Sanskrit, it means, so be it. It's the moment where your behavior and output become so aligned that your environment has no choice but to respond. This isn't magic, it's momentum. By removing the friction of talking and seeking approval, Your work reaches a velocity that naturally draws in the right people and opportunities. The system you've built is now so efficient that the outcome becomes a logical certainty. And because you did all this work in complete silence, it's like building a massive skyscraper entirely in the dark. Nobody saw the progress. They only see the sudden result when you drop the tarp. This is the power of the sudden reveal. Your peers and competitors experience a devastating shock because they never saw the blueprints. You gave them no time to doubt you and no chance to prepare for your arrival. Validation is expensive, but silence is free. Stop selling your unbuilt ideas for the cheap hit of dopamine. Seal your system, master your internal mechanics, and launch an undeniable surprise attack on the world.